How are
How are
you?
you doing? Please don't call me YB. Just call me Saddiq or Syed, whichever one is easier.
Syed? I call YB
Yeah.
Syed.
Just call me Syed or Saddiq, whichever is easier.
Alright,
Yeah.
Saddiq.
Is that a Mickey Mouse behind you? But why is it only white and black?
White and black? No, it's brown. It's brown.
Oh, it's brown. Oh, okay.
So honored to have YB Saddiq here today as our guest. Actually, guys, I messaged YB last week and invite him to have a chat on my channel, but I didn't expect that YB will just like straight away on me. So here he is with us today. So ex-Minister
Thank
of
you.
Youth and Sports and also President of MUDA.
Firstly, thank you very much. It's an absolute honor to join your session and also to serve you previously. I mean, you're not just a very young leader, but you are also a national icon in your own way. I mean, God knows how many records you've set before. So it's an honor to be able to join you tonight.
Oh, my honor to serve under you. So as everybody knows, YB has been fighting hard for athletes' welfare right before this. Very supportive to us athletes and speaking for the people all the time. So actually today I'm just trying to get some opinions from YB regarding athletes' welfare, which is people discuss on the table every day, but yet still not to the expectation till today. So that's YB thinks that national athletes should be treated like government servants and deserve welfare just like them. Like YB can see a lot of news recently. So what do you think about that?
Thank you very much. To be honest, this is not just a KBS issue. It is a whole of government issue. Often KBS, or the Ministry of Youth and Sports, is viewed as the smallest and last to be concerned ministry. So it will always get the least of priority by any governments, especially when it comes to allocation of budgets. That's why when I served in a ministry, let's look at sports budget of other countries. Usually it's very stable. It's not just per annum, but there's a development budget which will last for 5 to 10 years. In order to train an athlete, you cannot have 1 year this way, next year this way, and it keeps on changing. So there's a 5 to 10 year development budget. Problem with Malaysia, back then, if you follow international sporting community, usually a lot of money will come from either cigarette company, alcohol companies, gaming companies, the scene industries. But in Malaysia, cigarettes you no longer can, alcohol minimal, gaming now is being reduced. So really, there's almost 100% reliance on taxpayers' money, not the conventional sports budget like what other countries do. So I remember when I was in the ministry, I managed to pass a cabinet paper and brought this at cabinet to secure additional 30 million ringgit funding a year via sugar tax. You drink all your sugary drinks.
From the sugar tax?
Correct. So every year, 30 million ringgit should go to sports funding and specifically earmarked to help young athletes in terms of their training and development programs. It's unfortunate when government changed, I didn't hear what happened to that because that will secure an additional 30 million. So if you look in sports funding, every year, even a cut of 15 to 20 million, like what happened recently, could cost half of the amount of athletes to be axed. So it's not a lot of money.
Yes.
But I think we need to have a consistent approach. The second part, we were working on coming up with a pension or a EPS scheme for our athletes. Because the last thing we want is for them to retire, but to retire badly. And that's where we see cases where they will end up selling tissues or where they will end up being in poverty. And that's truly tragic. These are our national heroes and heroines, and we owe a duty to help them. So there are many things which we proposed before, but these are the two key areas which I think we need to look deeply into. A stable sports funding, which is not just reliant on the typical funding pool, put it in within a development budget so that there's consistent funding for 5 to 10 years. And second, on welfare of athletes, we need to ensure that we work closely with EPF or with government via pension scheme so that the net is widened, so that those who retire will not end up being in poverty or living a very troubled life, despite serving Malaysia in the greatest of ways.
Next question. I know that YB is giving full support this one on esports. Does YB plays esports as well? Like Dota?
Yes, definitely Dota. So
Dota.
everyone, whenever now they think of esports, they always think of Mobile Legends. For me, I love playing Dota. I'm quite old school. It's not just Dota or Dota 2. I love playing strategy esports games, Command Conquer, General Zero Hour, and I'm damn good at it. So if anyone wants to fight me on it, please take on that challenge. So I truly enjoy it. But just to briefly share why esports. I mean, sports is fluid. It evolves from time to time. But for esports, the unique part of it, it doesn't require a lot of state funding. So while the state will come in at the beginning, private sector comes in a larger scale. I remember during my first 6 months serving the ministry, we were able to bring one of the largest esports tournaments in Malaysia, Dota Major, in which the full, where you would know what's the name of that huge hall? Axiata Arena.
Axiata.
It was packed. Yeah, it was fully booked. Majority of those who booked the tickets came from abroad. The prize money was $1 million US, and Malaysians and people abroad were watching Malaysia. So I mean, we got Malaysia's name in the eyes of the international community. So it's a lot more of not government putting a lot of money, but getting private sector to come in, and so that Malaysia becomes an esports hub with private sector investments from locally and abroad. You know, we spoke to Sony, we spoke to many international companies to move to Malaysia. So there's the esports as a sports, and there's esports as an industry. So it's a two-pronged strategy to move Malaysia forward.
And there's still two sides of extreme reaction, like stereotypes, like YB said, things that lead to waiters will come with strong resistance. So do YB think that the benefit that esports will bring will be clearer in the future?
Definitely. As we see today, it's not just a Malaysian phenomenon, it's a global phenomenon. Look at how China. Esports has been accepted. China, Tencent and Alibaba. Right? Alibaba, Tencent coming in. But there's also the team as a competitive sport. So in SEA Games, for the first time in Manila, it's been included as a medal tally sport. It will be included in the Asian Games, and now the discussion is as high to Olympics. Obviously not there yet. So I think in the future, the trend is moving upwards and to be accepted. So Malaysia must be ready. We have some brilliant esports players, right? We have some of the best players in FIFA, in Dota. We are like top. So yeah, we have some of the best players in Malaysia.
But we don't have a training base in Malaysia, right? They train overseas, like China or Southeast Asia. So what YB thinks that the best way to get rid of these kind of stereotypes, like for me, when I think of esports, I think like, playing games,
Playing game. yeah, that was exactly what I faced. I remember first time when I got into government, and then there was a first time announced esports budget. Immediately pakai ini menteri main game.
Oh yes,
but
yes.
What they didn't look is that immediately after government pledged 10 million, then Razer pledged 10 million, then I think Pegasus pledged another 10 million, and it kept on increasing. And people forget that Razer invested in Malaysia, created 300 high quality jobs, and at the same time opened up its office here as well. And there are many other companies who did so and are more interested to do the same. So the point I'm trying to make here, while they were resistant at the beginning, now it's largely accepted. So even though there's been a change of minister 3 times, all 3 ministers, all 3 governments have continued to embrace esports, despite the fact at the beginning, I was called as Menteri Budak-Budak yang Kanak-Kanak and Menteri Main Game, which is fine. The other part which we need to look at, we have so many brilliant sponsored teams by private sector. Berjaya sponsors some esports teams, Air Asia sponsors some esports teams, quite a number, all in different categories. So they should be treated as athletes as well. They have a place, they need proper training, they need proper support. So in the end, bringing them into the ecosystem will make the sports industry better. And especially when private sector comes in to support, therefore no longer relying on government per se, I think we can turbocharge the industry forward together with the support of government and private sector.
But it's getting better and better. Like even now, I can accept it now. So yeah. At
but
first,
what do you play? Do you play any sports?
No, I don't have any games installed in my phone. Not even one.
Really?
Yeah.
If not, your coach will be angry lah. Kau dengar. So, oh, now you're not here because you play game.
Last question, YB. Do you think that
Sure.
sportsmen can juggle both studies and sports at the same time? Will it affect our focus on career, or should we actually pursue our studies while we playing?
To be honest, it's never easy to juggle between these two. And especially today, when we enter an era of highly competitive, cutthroat sport, it's really cutthroat. Every second, every cent of investment plays a role. People are starting to become athletes as early as 5 to 6 years old, going through rigorous training day and night. I think you know better, especially as a champion like yourself. So with that in mind, I think governments, especially Malaysian government, should try their best to assist all athletes in providing flexible academic arrangements so that in the end, they can pursue both if they choose to do so. There are some who want to become full-time professional athletes. There are some who also like to pursue their education as well. And I've encountered many of those. And that's why when I served in the ministry, we were able to secure a first-time deal with the Ministry of Education for almost all IPTAs and some IPTS, where if you were a student athlete, you'll be given first right to enter the university, despite maybe not being the most academically excellent student, but because you served the country or you served in sports in your district or state, then you'll be given a priority lane to enter universities. And in the university, we inked a separate deal so that you'll be given flexible studying hours, arrangement, special exams, so that in the end, you will be able to pursue both. You can get your degree and your master's, and at the same time, you can represent Malaysia abroad. I think that's the duty of the government. But also the answer, whether they can cope or not, lies in every single athlete.
Is it in any universities?
For the deal which we secured, all IPTAs, all national universities, we've inked this deal. Some private universities have come on board as well. So, and usually the universities also specialize as well. I think that's where our divers will go to UM, and then football will go to UKM. So different universities specialize in different sports, but they will be given a priority lane.
Is this deal still running now?
I hope so. I really hope so, because that's the thing, right? I mean, we can change government 5 times, but I hope that there's consistency, especially in development funding. So as I told you about the sugar tax, 30 million plays a very important role every year. The continuation of the discussion of EPF and pension, the paper is there, the research is done, the policy proposal is there, and then we're not sure what happened on it. And the university plan has been agreed, announced in public, signed. I went university by university to meet up with their vice chancellors to get this deal through, especially the flexibility in studying for our athletes. So I think this is where there must be some level of consistency, but I have no problem meeting up with the current minister to discuss about this further. If you face any problems, please do tell me. You have my number as well. Yeah. Hey, you shouldn't face any problem. You 100% will have no problem. If there's problems, then please do tell me. You know, the scheme which we did, it's not just, I mean, for you, you're not just a priority lane. You'll definitely get in with scholarship and full scholarship and, really flexible arrangement. What we did was also especially for school athletes, even if they're only represented, even just on a state level, district level, there's still additional merit point for them to be given the priority lane. For proper full-time athletes for yourself, that's not just a priority, that's a confirmed spot. So if anything, please do tell me if you face any problems on that end.
No, on study, I'm okay. Actually, I just finished my diploma in T. Okay, I think that's more than enough.
That's amazing. By the way, so now where do you train at usually?
We got a training base for independent player, so it's separate doubles and singles. So it's in Cheras.
Is this together with the guys from the Purple League, or is this a separate one?
Which one?
Is it the Purple League? There's the same guys from the Purple League who help the independent players to play as well. I met up with them separately. Yeah. Is it Dato Jack?
Yes, but He's not in the position anymore, so train on our
okay.
own. Yes.
Okay.
Train with
Okay.
the boys.
But seriously, if you face any problems and there are issues which you think we should speak on, please do text me or call me directly. No problem. I'm also an aspiring amateur badminton player. I actually play every week, every Friday morning from 9 to 11, every Friday morning without fail. Yeah. So if you're free, you should come as well. I'll host you. And after that, we can go for lunch.
You just text me, Ravi. Can do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Just don't bantai me so bad. At least let me score 1 point.
If go for cycling, I think you guys go for 100 km, is it? 100 plus.
You cycle as well, right?
Sometimes in Penang, like 30 or 40 km,
okay.
and I'm dead.
Okay, then we are the same. I'm not the one who cycle 150 kilometers, okay? That one is another level. I enjoy my santai cycling ride, and then the food which comes after. I cycle so that I can eat good food after.
We got the same purpose here.
Oh,
I train for the food.
Let's stay in touch. Again, anything I can do, please do tell me.
Alright.
Let's have a more santai makan minum session after this. And then we can go badminton and cycling. Take care.
Okay,
good to see you again.
Thank you, YB, for your time. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Bye.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye.